Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So, Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4-hour, as we can see, just nicely operating between the ranges. We obviously had the low end of the range, the high end of the range, bounce back up at this this support level, back to the top end of the range, well, roughly down to this level, broke above that range, and getting supported at this horizontal support here. So I think for me, I think this pretty much is the top of this range. The range is probably, say, 39k, say, well, 38.5k to 30k, and then if we do start to hold above this level, I think that would indicate obviously a break of this horizontal range, and then we will start to move upwards. I know I have been previously thinking, well, anywhere between 39 and 42 is the top end of the range. But I think if we hold above here, I think we will pretty quickly start to make progress well into the 40Ks. And if we lose this 38k level, then I think we basically will still trade sideways within this range. So that is kind of how I'm looking at it. You can see we haven't had a lot of price action above here. We had a little move above here, peaked our head above the parapet. And then obviously we had a bit of price action up here, but that was off the back of obviously all the momentum we had from this obviously massive move up. So it wasn't too abnormal to see us obviously hold above this level at that point. Not that this wasn't particularly a level at that point. Well, I guess it was one of our targets, but yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that as you guys know, I've been looking at sideways within this range until obviously we don't, and it is looking like we could be at the we don't part of that, where we've broken clean above this 38k resistance, actually currently back tested at a support. So we've had our forward check, our back check, and are we now in for a paycheck trade up to about 36k, which is the next level, which we will actually... Oh, I think I've got my drawing tools locked. Yeah, which will extend this. We'll extend this along so we can basically see where the next level is. Is this what is happening? I mean, basically what I'm saying is it could be. So the first trigger, realistically will be above this recent high. We'll just draw as a horizontal. Obviously we'll just draw a little one. This is a shorter time frame. Above here we'll probably see our acceleration up to here, then above there we'll probably see our acceleration up to about 46k. Not necessarily in one straight move. We could obviously break above here, back test, and then bounce. Yeah, I mean, it is looking good, and we have got a very clear defined level. Not only was this support level a clear defined level anyway, it is now basically coincided pretty much almost exactly-ish with this wick down. So yeah, good to see that level getting respected there as well. This is slightly bugging me, so let me just get this a bit there. Oh, that's it, bang on, look at that. We'll lock those drawing tools so we can't mess that up. But yeah, so yeah, you can see we are looking good, bounced off this level, looking good. Yeah, we are just looking good here, and we're just looking good until we don't. We've got a clear defined level of we don't, and it's not even necessarily bad for Bitcoin or crypto if we do break back below here. It just means we're still in this sideways range, and yeah, nothing to worry about there. Obviously we only need to worry once we close some larger time frame candles below. Basically we can just roughly call it 30k. Might as well straighten that one up whilst I'm here. Just below 30k. So that's all we've really got to... Oh, it's not even done it. That's all we've really got to worry about. And trading sideways, for you guys, especially in the altcoins as well, is not necessarily the worst thing either. If we did fall back in here and trade here, I would expect if we did that we would look to put in a higher low at some point. So I would probably on that basis, assume we'd only really get down to the mid 35Ks. And if we are looking at, say, a 30 to 40K range, 35K is roughly the middle of the range, and we know that obviously the middle of the range is important. And when I say range, I mean like these horizontal ranges. The middle of the range is important. It is a level that does get played off. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at with Bitcoin. Obviously, his weekend price action, CME's closed around 38K, so Bitcoin just hovers around here before it decides to make a move, waiting for CME's to open, and that would make sense. The Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, it is obviously also operating very nicely within its ranges, pretty much down here to the tick, and then bounce pretty much all the way to the, well, literally that is to the tick. I think that is like, we'll zoom all the way in. Yeah, I mean, there's the tiniest of gaps, but yeah, that's all the way in there. And then now we are basically coming back down. See if we can sort this out again. Now we are coming back down. So are we just gonna bounce off here again? Are we gonna put in a higher low at some point? Well, if we are potentially where we are, or are we gonna take this out and come down, which obviously is a possibility. Clear defined level for us to watch out for as well. If we do that, then yeah, I mean, Ethereum, we've got this obviously horizontal here. It could come down to, I'll just extend this along. But we would be starting to take out this higher low structure, although I would probably call this more than the next main low as opposed to this one here. But yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't look too bad, but realistically we want to hold this level and start to move back up again. Realistically, if you want Ethereum up over Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance as well, that's basically back above this major horizontal and tested it, had a little bounce off it. So I guess it will depend on the direction of Bitcoin next week. I think if Bitcoin does do what it could do here, start to look like it's going to move up to 46K, then I think alts, Bitcoin dominance, and Ethereum Satoshi pairing could get hit, not necessarily go down USD pairing, but obviously get hit Satoshi pairing. And also there is also everything else aside, there is an increased likelihood of this break to the upside and this move to 46K and maybe even beyond on a wick basis, pretty sharpishly. So that is gonna start to weigh on the Satoshi pairings of all altcoins, because people will start to anticipate obviously there's the chance they're gonna have to price in the likelihood of this move, in which case they are going to have to look to move into Bitcoin to try and capture that move. So yeah, got to watch out for that. Ethereum USD pairing, as you can see, not that I always say that I don't really pay too much attention to this or look at it much, but still holding above this horizontal here, so still looking good. Yeah, still not looking bad. Still, obviously, we're looking for around 2,000. If this is the bull flag, I'm guessing this is obviously the projected target I've already drawn. So yeah, roughly around 2,000. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Currently high and low put in. Currently. So if we get basically more upside here, we could then see a push up to the, well, maybe we'll break it at that point, but either way, just a move back up and continue with this flag. Maybe we are going to get a sort of ascending triangle starting to form. I'll actually draw this horizontal along here. Or we just going to trade sideways in this for a more prolonged period. We shall have to see. Yeah, quick look at the stochastics now, because not too much else to look at in the other markets because they've not been open. 4 hour did have its pullback, got picked back up and pulling back again. Is this going to put in is the stochastic putting a high low? The main thing is obviously these higher time frames. 10 hour up there and holding up there, which we know it can do. 12 hour is up there. Looking a little bit tired, toppy, but obviously we know they can hold up there, and then everything else is going to be looking golden. So daily looking good here. 2 days starting to move up now as well. 3 days has turned back up now as well. 5 day very close to turning back up. Weekly very close to turning back up. Bi-weekly, well, got a bit of a kink in it, and then monthly, two bi-weekly, i.e. monthly, is still pointing up. So yeah, these are starting to look good, although obviously 10 hour, 12 hour, 4 hour are potentially saying that we are gonna at least consolidate in this area, if not have a move down. But realistically, stochastics in trending moves, when they come down in obviously a bull trending move, are more likely just to indicate consolidation and sideways as opposed to a reversal in a trend and back down. So that is kind of what we're looking at here. Maybe then putting some sideways up here, and then I think those higher time frame stochastics will pretty much start to kick in, and we will progress on our move towards that 60k level. So yeah, that is kind of what we're looking at here. We pretty much called it anyway. Once we once we looked at us getting supported down here, we're looking at realistically the trade is to the top of the range to 40k. And obviously you just have your stops below here. So that's a great trade, a great basically $10,000 move. This is why I like ranges. You can just take trades basically based on just the levels, and you can obviously target the higher end of the ranges, because that's how ranges usually work. You go from top to bottom to top to bottom to top, not obviously quite bottom, but this is a bit of an erroneous move. If we kind of just look at this as from basically bottom to top in this one move here, it's basically a money tree if you can operate it nicely. So yeah, that is what we're looking at. And also you'll note I'm looking at a 4-hour time frame, so this may look very obvious and very simple, or it may or may not look obvious, but it probably looks more obvious than when you're looking to try and take moves off like 1 hour, less than 1 hour, 25 15 minute time frames. Yeah, obviously it is you're not it's slow progress with the moves. You're not just seeing the big moves, big moves relative to your time frame over like the same day. You kind of sat in a trade. I mean, from the low end of this range to the top end of the range was basically say 27th of January. So we got up to, well, I mean, if we do want to ignore this and we call it getting up to about the 40k level, or this resistance here, I mean, that's 27th. How many days are in January? They're 30. So we're looking at basically about 7 days. So it is about a week. So it's about a week you buy, and then a week later you sell. Or take profits, or take some profits, or whatever you do. But either way, you can see that it's a week-long trade. It's not like an intraday trade. It's not even close to an intraday trade. So yeah, so there you go. So yeah, this is not financial advice or trading advice or any sort of advice or anything like that. So, but thanks for listening, guys, and I shall speak to you guys later.